Okay, so we're going to do some inky drawing. I have no idea what it's going to be, and that's part of the fun. Part of the fun is kind of like throwing down some ink and just seeing what comes, seeing what feelings we have. And sometimes I like to start it with a nice kind of big splash of sorts, just to wow, that is some splash, isn't there? My. That does get the mind ticking, doesn't it? Right, let's roll up the sleeves and get some ink rolling. Right, well, something is saying come down there. Again, I have to have faith. You know, a lot of people have asked, and it's like, you've got to just feel like when your brain is saying go down and do a big round ball at the end, and it will come. You have to have that faith in your own drawing. Why do I need to draw a big lump here? Why? What do you want? And you have to listen to that voice in your head. And if you don't listen, well, you're probably going to miss a chance, is how I always see it. So something is telling me to do this. Now, it's also again suggesting that there is a large eye there. And this is where I feel like art is coming into its own. It's kind of, it's the mind kind of leading you forward. Everything is catching on my jacket today. And sometimes it's nice to kind of feel your way. Try and feel what it is that your mind is trying to tell you. What is this? What is this creature? What is this? What do these eyes belong to? And I always find it's quite a beautiful kind of vision from your mind. It's such a beautiful. And as you start to draw, it starts to talk to you a little bit. It starts to tell you some lovely things. Let's move those out of the way. So we have something there that has a large, I don't know, kind of feeling like I should do the same on that side. That there's something kind of large about this head that I am drawing, that there's something very, very big there. And the way forward with a lot of these things is that I generally like to kind of have this point in the drawing where I kind of disturb it. Everything there is very big and it's looking very long, and I feel like I need to shorten it. And that's kind of where I draw these lines in. And again, it's something that my mind is kind of like saying, well, that's too much this, that's too much this. Well, you don't want that. Well, you can't have that. And I do feel like I have to kind of listen to it. Now, it's telling me that something is, maybe it's a clothing there. Maybe that's like some kind of big kind of turtleneck of some sort. It's kind of giving me this feeling that there is a smile down there. Again, just kind of doubling up on the lips a little bit. And again, it's not really very clear what the character is at this point. And a lot of times I have to kind of say to myself, it doesn't matter at this point. It doesn't matter. We're finding it. We're finding what it is. And it's giving me this very large, bulky type of head, which is really quite nice, to be honest. I'm just trying to thicken up those lines there. And it's a nice thing, especially like if you're drawing along with me. The process of you kind of finding your drawing, as you know, as you look at yours, is definitely not the same as mine. So that's what makes it all so lovely. This kind of thing that it's like, I almost kind of feel like it's some kind of fisherman of some sort. And to do that, I'm going to, yeah, why not? Let's add some kind of fish in there. And as you're kind of drawing, and you're drawing very free, you're kind of coming up with this idea. Said, well, okay, he looks like a fisherman. Okay, if he looks like a fisherman, maybe he is a fisherman. And that's a nice way to open with your drawings. That there's no kind of, nothing that's kind of dictated for you. You're kind of telling yourself a story about this fisherman. And this fisherman has caught a prize fish, and he's very, very pleased about it. And you can draw in some kind of hands there. And what this does is it's a very good exercise for your mind, okay? And I do this a lot, especially like in sketchbooks and stuff like that. I try sometimes to sit and just draw, not think too much about what I am drawing. And I do find that the more I think about it and the more I want something, the more I'm displeased with what I've done, and definitely with the direction that it has been drawn in. And now it's giving me this lovely shape here. Again, slightly changing what a fish should be. I almost kind of feel like he's proudly holding this up so that he can have his photo taken. So if you can imagine, this is a photo of the fisherman. And if you are doing this at home, then I would love to know what you're drawing. I would love to, you know. Kieran, I sat there and did my drawing while you did your fisherman, and I drew a unicorn flying over London or whatever, you know. Give him a nice kind of woolly jumper texture. As it would be. So we need to come up with an eye for our fish. And again, it doesn't have to be a fish of any style or any sort or any kind of breed, you know. It can be just the fish that's in your mind as you're looking at it. You know, as long as you do some things in there, like give it gills and things like that to kind of give it a fishy appearance, then you get away with it. And I love the idea that there's a lot of ink there, and I'm going to draw the fish kind of looking up at him like, what have you done? Why did you catch me? I'm nice. And part of my drawing in these videos are very much sketch. These are very much kind of like throwing out ideas and just trying to reactivate your mind, especially if you haven't drawn for a long time. I do get a lot of people writing to me saying, I haven't drawn for a long time. And this is where you open your mind. You just kind of draw without care. You draw without worry, you know. If it ends up to be you're drawing a donkey or you're drawing a man fishing, whatever it is, it's just fun. It's pouring out this fun from inside of you. And that's what I love about this. And every time I come away from my drawing board, I'm always feeling really good about it. Just the fact that I drew something that was somehow in my mind. I'm almost feeling like he needs a mustache or something there just to kind of build that fisherman story a little bit more, maybe. Adding all these scales in there. And it's kind of like, almost like kind of a piranha type fish. It's quite cute. So a mustache. Yes, maybe. Maybe I can draw some kind of fisherman's mustache. Give it a nice kind of thick kind of a mustache like you would imagine a fisherman to have. Nice and thick and warm feeling. I used to do a lot of fishing when I was a kid. Up in Donegal, we used to go fishing quite a lot. All those years ago. That's quite nice. In fact, I really like the kind of twisted shape of his head. It's really quite nice. Giving some more texture for his woolly jumper, his fisherman's woolly jumper. And again, you know, there is a kind of a feeling that the more kind of detail and texture that you add to a drawing, it does kind of make it look better. Though sometimes I'm really taken by the simplified version. Sometimes I really do like to do a very simple drawing, sometimes just with one kind of big hit with the brush and kind of find the character. But today, I want all the texture from his jumper, and I want the texture of the fish, and I want all such. Lovely. Just kind of adds a little bit more life to it. And that is my... He's caught quite a cute fish, hasn't he? Drawing a little bit more with his jumper in there, just as he's holding this fish up. Kind of also makes the fish stand out a little bit better. But in fact, I have to pull that down. And that is our fisherman for today. And I'd love to get your comments. What do you feel about today's drawing? And how are you feeling today? I'd love to know how you're feeling. As you're sitting there and you're drawing and you're relaxing your mind, how are you feeling? How is life today? How is the world today? And the fisherman is happy because he's caught his little fish. And the fish is happy because he was lonely. So there you are. A match made in heaven. Let's get a little bit more of the texture down there. And I really quite, I love that goldfish. Very nice. And today's drawing is a very quick one. It was not meant to be so quick, but we have actually shot through it. Very nice. So, a very strange-headed, fisherman catching a very delicious fish, and he's very proud of himself. So that is today's feeling. That is today's drawing, and I hope somewhere in this drawing it makes you smile. I hope it makes you feel great to look at it. Because it makes me feel great to draw it. So thank you very much for being here, okay? Thank you for watching today's drawing. And do pop over and watch a few more. There's lots of them on there. There's really some good ones. The mermaid was a nice one this week. Go and check out the mermaid. So, there's today's fisherman. Would be a nice one to paint up. Nice yellow jumper. Nice bluey green fish. Lovely. Big rosy cheeks. So, thank you very much for being here, and please come back and watch some more back on the channel every day and have some fun. Have a beautiful day. See you later.